When you can actually see your profit for the year in dollars and cents, it gets you more in the notion of selling corn, knowing that I can lock in a $50,000 profit or whatever the profit is. You want to lock it in. If I know I can make that much profit in a year, I will be in business next year.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills, this is Logan Burgess. Today is the 18th here, it's a Monday, and we had a bit of a mixed bag here in Chicago with corn trading down 5.5 cents, soybeans up 5 3/4, and wheat in Chicago trading down 9 1/4 cents here. Now we did get export inspections out this morning. We did see wheat and corn both beating analyst expectations, soybeans coming in within line with analyst expectations. A lot of the focus, though, this morning is on the Pro Farmer Crop Tour. Right. Logan, what are we seeing in the western part of the U.S.?
Yeah, absolutely, Cody. Here, take a look at this map. This basically shows the route that the crop scouts are going to be taking. And as you said, today, day one out west, we started in South Dakota, headed down into eastern Nebraska. And the crop tour in that area saw a lot of hail damage. One reporter on the ground looked at, on average, 110 bushels per acre over 3 counties there in northeastern Nebraska, about 40 bushels per acre lower than what the Pro Farmer Crop Tour saw on this leg last year. So, you know, based on this map here that we've been showing a little bit on GrainTV, not surprising that we saw relatively light yield expectations out of day one on the western leg.
Absolutely, and let's just switch our attention over to Ohio and Indiana on the eastern side of the U.S. We did see that corn production there was very positive in Ohio at 178.5 bushels per acre. That compares to 159.5 last year. When you look at Indiana, we were at 171 bushels per acre versus 163 bushels per acre last year. When you switch and take a look at the soybeans here, the pod count in Ohio was down significantly, but in Indiana it was up significantly. So you had a little bit of a counterbalance right there. Yep. Looks as though the Ohio soybeans not looking as good as years past.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you take a look here at this map once again, as I said, we've been using this a little bit here on GrainTV. Basically, this shows yield expectations for the corn crop based on crop reporting district. And as you can see, the blue line here is the crop tour. So day one and day two is most likely going to be the worst yield reports that we're going to be getting out of the entire crop tour. As we enter day 3 and day 4, which is Wednesday and Thursday of this week, we're expecting exceptional yield being reported. We're going to see a lot of photos of excellent stands of corn and soybeans on Twitter and other social media platforms. So wouldn't be surprised if later in the week, if that weighed on the new crop contracts a little bit. As you said, Cody, a ton of focus right now is on what these crop scouts are seeing as they converge here in southern Minnesota.
Absolutely, and when you switch over and you take a look at what we're seeing in weather here, you'll notice that we did get a lot of precipitation over the weekend, particularly that northwestern plains area. When you look at the precipitation going forward, it looks like we're going to get more precipitation. North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, northern part of Iowa here for the remainder of the week. And when you look at the 10-day forecast, you'll notice that there's a lot of precipitation throughout much of the grain belt here. So it looks as though the precipitation outlook is very positive here for the growing, particularly for beans. Right. And I think that that's one of the reasons why we may start to see later on in this week, we may start to see soybeans and corn, all of these really start to come off here a little bit when you get a combination of both positive pro-farmer tweets and a lot of images combined with the fact that we continue to get precipitation.
Absolutely. We'll have to see what we find there. You can follow the crop tour on Twitter, hashtag PFTour14 if you want to follow it. We'll be tweeting alongside as well. At GrainTV is where you can find us. After the market closed today, we did get crop conditions updated from the USDA. As you can see here, corn, good to excellent ratings, were down 1%. Soybeans actually improved 1% here week over week. We did get some good precipitation in the western corn belt last week, so that could have been helping out the crop there. And we saw spring wheat decline 2% here week over week. As we know from being here in Montana, we have an exceptional spring wheat crop in our local area, but it does look like some of the fringe areas might have been a little bit damaged here over the last week. If you have any questions about what we discussed on GrainTV, feel free to call our office. Number is 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for joining us here on GrainTV. We'll see you tomorrow.